Good day, grade 11s. I go by the name of Miss Zulu, your business studies tutor. And today our lesson will be focusing on acquiring business funding if needed. Did you know that new businesses need additional capital to run their operations successfully? Entrepreneurs need to be well conversant with various sources of funding. So when you want to start a business as an entrepreneur, you need to know where you will get the funding if you are going to need one. Hence, this lesson is about acquiring funding if needed. Now, let's look at the lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to outline the reasons why businesses need funding, explain sources of funding, describe factors that influence the choice of funding. Now, let us look at the concept map. When we are referring to a concept map, we are actually talking about the overview of the lesson. What is it that will be covered in this lesson? We'll first look at the reasons why businesses need funding and look at the sources of funding, and lastly, look at the factors that influence the choice of funding. Now, let's look at the pre-knowledge. You must know the sources of financing for businesses. When we talk of pre-knowledge, we are referring to the knowledge that you should be knowing by now before we start the lesson. Now, let's look at the pre-knowledge practice. Let us test your knowledge. State the sources of financing for businesses. We have bank loans, we have venture capital, we have asset-based loan, grants, receivable finance, and angel funding. Now, let's look at the new words and language that you are going to come across throughout the lesson. We have the first term, which is risk. A credit provider will always consider how safe their investment will be by looking at factors that will endanger the recovery of the debt. And the second term is interest. It refers to money paid as a percentage for the use of borrowed money. Then we have bank overdraft, when the bank allows a customer to withdraw more than what is deposited in their account. And lastly, we have the term angel funding. Wealthy business people who want to invest in promising small businesses in return for a profit share in the business. Now, before we start looking at our first concept, let us just go for a quick ad break and we will be back.